can't go on social media and find it all out right now. But
Are you saying we're old?
No, we're like fine wine. Just get better with age.
Welcome to another episode of The Collective Perspective, where we give brands a little perspective on the state of the industry today.
Well, my name is Justin Noel. I've been in the industry since I was 18. Owner of Sweetwater Social here in Manhattan, over on Bleecker and Broadway.
You're the perfect guy to talk to about this. I think, us coming up 10 years ago, 15 years ago, the state of brands talking to bartenders has changed. So I wanted to get your perspective on what education advocacy should look like in 2019. What should brands be doing specifically to talk to people like yourself?
One of the things that I remember when I first really kind of got going in this industry, I definitely saw brands be more active in the educational side of the advocacy model, where education became somewhat paramount. Brand ambassadors were more focused on telling the story of the brand, educating people on the product as how it fits into the category, what the category is about. That was really the focus, more than let's do a happy hour. Ambassadors, for some reason, have now kind of, and I'm sure you've seen this, I've seen this, the ambassador role has shifted drastically from being one that was really a mentor, educator, speaker for the brand and category, kind of really representing not only an image of the brand, but the lifestyle of the brand, and become more just extensions of the sales team.
Do you think that's short-term thinking, or do you think, you think more of what used to happen 4 or 5 years ago told that story and would create brand awareness and create brand marketing long-term, but what you're talking about now is just sort of short-term thinking? Or is that, where they're hey, I'm paying this brand ambassador a lot of money, I want him to get results tomorrow?
I think what companies, and again, we'll use brands really kind of as the driver on this, they didn't really know how to evaluate ROI on the educational advocacy side of things. So it said, they basically said, what ways can we actually determine somebody's value? Well, let's look at the metrics. From the short-term side, I get it from a brand's perspective. You invest this money in a person, and then you want to see some type of results that hopefully pays his and her contract or salary. I think long term, what you do though, you create ambassador programs that I think only are looked at from a buyer's perspective or a bar manager's perspective as essentially a slush fund. A slush fund to kind of tap into, to go, hey, look, you know what? I got a new menu coming up. I normally rotate my menu, maybe it's 3 times a year, maybe it's twice a year. You know what? I'm gonna have these conversations with a bunch of different brands, and see who's gonna write me the biggest check. So brand loyalty doesn't really exist anymore, because you're not really building brand loyalty on the brand ambassador program side. You're really just creating this false economy of hey, this year or this month I'm going to William Grant. Next month I'm going to go to Bacardi. Next month I'll go to Diageo. Right?
About the money, not about the relationships. A lot of bartenders seem to be working with brands these days part-time. I feel like anyone who's behind a bar, sort of running a program, works for a brand. So it seems like there's more part-time ambassadors these days than anything else.
I think I'll frame it 2 ways. As a bartender, if you get that opportunity and you really love the product and you really love the brand, you can stand by it and you feel it's part of your reputation, you can maintain your reputation, go ahead. You'll learn some skills like time management. You'll learn some skills like professional etiquette and timely responding and things of that nature. On the brand side, I look at it this way: you get what you pay for. So if you're going to start taking this idea of, all right, we're going to hire an army of part-time people, well, you're going to get part-time results. With that notion of investing in, say, use one of my bartenders, right? You're going to hire that person as a part-time ambassador. Well, he's got to split his time between 2 realities. They want the same results. They want somebody to show up and be professional. They want somebody to do their job. And I think what ends up happening is you either wear these people out from a physical standpoint, because you're asking them to do 40 hours as a part-time person, which that's a full-time job. You might frame it as I want you out there doing 25, 30 hours.
Right.
But we both know that most ambassadors are being asked to do far more.
That.
And as a result, the brand doesn't get really the value that they're trying to achieve. I've always been of the philosophy like, look, if you're going to hire somebody who's going to be a representative of you in the market, they need to feel invested in, and they need to feel
a great point.
Somewhat respected and kind of shown some love and support, so that they can go out and do their job. Use a personal relationship narrative. Like if I felt that I was dating somebody and it was kind of like a part-time thing, I wouldn't feel all that committed to not go out and make bad mistakes.
What are they doing right that you see coming into a bar, and what are they also doing wrong?
I think it depends on what really the job title is. So Diageo has an army of people who I think they're called key account specialists or portfolio specialists, and they're going to speak business with you, and they want to get down to the business conversation relatively quickly. I would say some of the things that I've seen out there that I've really not been impressed by is just a lack of awareness of the account that you're going into. I've always been kind of taken aback by when I see brand ambassadors or reps or anybody come in and be almost standoffish, and especially if somebody comes in when a bar is open, you have to be very understanding that they are doing the job. And if you don't do that, then one, it leads me to believe that you've never spent a day behind the bar. So-and-so from XYZ brand, and I'm here to talk to your boss or your manager. Can I talk to him now? It's Thursday at 7 o'clock. No. They pull some account list that happens to be probably the same account list for like every other brand, and then they cold call. Cold calling, and they go in, and instead of like just being like, in a gracious way, like sitting down and being like, hey, I'm Jack, and I work for this brand, and like, love to take somebody on, love to talk to somebody about it, use my card. That's the other thing. A lot of brands, and this kind of blows my mind as well. It's like, why would you not put people out in the marketplace with the tools they need? It kind of says a lot to me about how you do business. If like you're asking me to give you my card and take your information, well, you're the one trying to sell me.
Right.
Why am I going to reach out to you? The only time I'm going to reach out to you again to go back to it is if like, well, I want $500, come in my, and then reality is like, that's what I'm going to use it for.
So how do you try to, create more of that personal relationship that we used to get when we used to go to a brunch in Clover Club and drink some nice bourbon? But like, how do you get that these days? Because there's so much opportunity.
There's some good companies out there that I think do it very well. Jägermeister has a trending scene program where they have like basically like, I think it's like 50-50 lifestyle to like commercial side. The lifestyle stuff is measured more in like the brand building side. The commercial side is more just they have to get X amount of cases, not X amount of counts, X amount of cases. And I think like that allows them to do some more singular focused stuff. You say like, look, what I want to see is you to build your relationships in 25 accounts for X amount of time. And I think this is what happens when you don't have enough people from the bar world in these positions. I think what happens is you get marketing people, commercial people who are in these roles. They all want to show that they were better than their predecessors. And what way to do it than to
hit
show
the numbers.
Because again, it's all based on things that you can measure, not potential ROI. But I think when you have what I would call traditional brand ambassadors, and maybe this is where the shift needs to happen. Maybe you get away from that model. Maybe you only hire 5 of those for the US, and you split them up between regions, and you give them singularly like your goal is to build the brand. You build the brand, and then you hire a bunch of like full-time key accounts or salespeople, and their job is to do that. And you get away from this, local ambassador model.
What is like the ideal situation for you? You as a bar owner spend a little more time, less aggressiveness. Build the relationship. So like when a brand wants to come talk to you, it's more about, stop with the hard sell at 8 o'clock at night on a Thursday when I'm running a party. A little less of that and a little more of get to know who's who.
It's like, I look at it like every account is almost like a job interview, right? So if you're going to get hired, you do the homework to make sure that you know what the brand is that you're working on. You know how the company culture is. Make sure that you understand what it is that they want before you come in trying to sell something.
Cool. Well, the buzzsaw is going now, so a collective perspective coming at you. More to come. Sweetwater Social, come check it out. Say hello to Justin.
I'm here
Build a
at
relationship.
least once or twice a week.
Take your time. Take your time. Patience. That's it.
I like to talk. I like conversation.
Thanks, brother.
Cheers, man. Thanks so
Cheers,
much.
man. Yeah.